Do you see the light? I can barely see the light. Here is an example visually impaired students of what the difference between low vision and visual impairment is. I was gonna say the difference between RP and RPE-65, but this is a similarity between RP and RPE-65. Retinal pigmentosa and RPE-65 LCA are both visual conditions of the retina. The main issue with RP, retinal pigmentosa, is it's kind of like your peripheral and your visual field is closing in on you, like to the point where it looks like you're looking either through a paper towel or a pinhole. But there's also other issues. RPE-65 is a retinal, aka LCA Leber's congenital amaurosis, a retinal condition that affects rods and cones, light and color, the peripheral closing in on you, and light and dark, contrast, and some other symptoms. Here's one that we have in common. RP and retinal pigmentosa, night blindness. Both issues and disabilities have night blindness. For instance, my iPad is on, I'd say, a third brightness. Watch what happens. Now, people with retinal pigmentosa actually, and RPE-65, had to look through their phone screen, like me filming right now, to figure out, oh my gosh, this is so dark. Wait, where's there's the brightness thing. I still have remaining light vision from my surgery with Luxturna, but if my vision regresses to full on RP65 that I had the first 19 years of my life, I won't be able to see that. How dark that is. See, like, it's so obvious on camera. And it's a little obvious off camera, but I'm struggling to get the right bar here to pull up the brightness. And with RP65, you need the brightness here, like, all the time. And since my vision hasn't regressed to that point, I can have the brightness down to quarter or third. So that is something that we RPE visually impaired people have in common with people with RP. I'll show you something else in a minute. I got my light on here, because here's another example that says hope, but I can barely read it. I did this art, so you think I'd do the art considering who is able and who's not able to read it. That says God's omnipresent, always present. That says stillness. Up, right, the upper left corner of the screen. And I gotta turn my phone because these are at an angle because I want it to be fancy. That says He lives. It's mountains. And the contrast in the background of that drawing makes it harder to see the letters. I mean, I see that he, live, the E and S are a little tougher. And then this is just a mess right here on the left. It's harder to see it unless I turn my room light on. See, I need more full room light to see this. It says something S. There's two S's. I know that. It actually looks worse on camera than it does in real life. I think it says Christ is something is, or S. Man, this looks better when I drew it. Christ is with us. Oh, that's a U-S. Right, the second letter, bottom left. Christ is with us. So this is an issue with RPE-65, and I think it might be an issue with RP, depending on how much of a pigment of your visual field you have. Reading. Reading is hard. I think most visual impairments have an acuity issue, but RPE-65 LCA specializes in you. It comes with stigmatism, near or far-sighted visual issues. Your visual acuity is anywhere from 2060 to 2200 on a good functioning LCA person, and anywhere from 2200 on. So reading, and then we got contrast and we got color. And since I have RP-65 LCA, it affects the rods and cones. Rods, light rays, cones, color. So this is another effect of my visual impairment. I don't know. Retina pigmentosa, you may be affected by the light that I'm just using my phone light, not my full room light. I think depending on where the retinal pigmentosa is, excuse my giant octopus, that's for therapy purposes. Depending on the retinal pigmentosa and how it affects your rods and cones, you may have that issue too. But that's what I'm talking about, the similarities and differences between retinal pigmentosa and RPE-65 LCA, because they're kind of cousins of each other, especially because they both begin in RP. Retinal pigmentosa seems like the umbrella visual impairment. And I think RPE-65 LCA, Leber's congenital amaurosis, is kind of a cousin, one of the raindrops behind the umbrella, as it were, if we were to draw this as a family tree with, like, umbrellas. I don't know, I'm being over-metaphorical. Alright, I'm gonna show you one more thing, and then I'm gonna finish up what I'm doing on my iPad here. And even that, if I take off my glasses right now, this title, The Dark World of Jamie Owens. Does that say Owens? No, Usuna. See, I can't even read with my glasses. Hold on, they weren't centered on my face. I'm watching some crime stuff, because there's been a lot of crime recently in the world, and I'm just like to watch some of that. I can watch the image. The images are big enough, but the text. I think I'm... Is it far-sighted? You can see near, but not far. I'm the one where you can't see far. I'm gonna look that up again. I'll be back with one more example of the differences between RP and RP.